Hey kids, you're about to listen to a comedy podcast. That means that none of this is medical advice. If you need medical advice or medical care, please contact your doctor.
Welcome to the Jock Doc Podcast,
where we discuss fitness and health and how to incorporate our modern understanding of science and medicine into our daily lives, but without it being so boring. I'm your host, drlondonsmith.com. I'd like to begin by apologizing to our listeners. We've received some feedback about the excessive amount of technical medical terms that I've been using, such as rhinoplasty, and most kids get it in free. So I'll try to temper my terminology to a simpler one in the future. Here to help with that is our producer, Cameron.
Dr. London, I hate to do this on air, but we have to figure out some actual, company logistics.
Okay.
I mean, Christmas is here. Christmas is...
Essentially, yeah.
And if you're a longtime listener of this show, you know that this podcast has desperately been trying to replace Santa with us.
Mm-hmm.
We're the new
That's right. Santa
Claus, blah, blah, blah. We've made some decent inroads. We bought red clothes.
Yeah. Because I'll say the benefits package and discussions there, that's really what's been getting me. I get that we've been debating and discussing for years and trying to finalize these contracts, but I think that Santa should get vision coverage.
You're saying that because you're Santa in our version of this?
Yeah, that I should get vision coverage. That I get that we have reindeer that could light up and see well.
Yeah, and they guide the whole
thing.
It doesn't really seem like you're doing much, so I don't really...
Yeah, but it's not like, getting on a metro, not getting on a train or whatever, because there's no guardrails for this. And even on a train, you still need a conductor. And I get that these are very smart reindeer, and I say that about them. But at a certain point, when I go blind, it will affect deliveries. You know what I mean?
I get that. This is sort of delving into what I wanted to talk about, which is all of the reindeer we had that we were planning to deliver these gifts to sort of beat Santa at his own game and sort of make him irrelevant, and then eventually he'll die off and we'll sort of be a monopoly in that area.
Well, yeah, we want to privatize this. Yeah.
Oh, of course. But our reindeer have fallen off. We don't have any any flying reindeer anymore. So
they can't fly anymore.
We've got all of these elves, what we call elves, which is anyone under 5'8". We've got a bunch of people under 5'8" working on all these toys, but no ability to deliver them if we don't have reindeer. And so I was hoping right now, we could figure out who we're going to use as the replacement reindeer so we can deliver all of our toys to finally beat Santa at his own game.
Okay, this is a different issue than I thought was going to come up, because I was so focused on the vision benefits that now I'm realizing I'm kind of just asking to become the whole Santa and the sleigh and the reindeer all together. I feel like you're going to try to put this all on me to carry the company.
Oh, yeah, no, I brought it up at the beginning of the podcast as a way where we could go back and forth and maybe suggest who we want as replacement reindeer.
Okay. But I do think I could do a better job than Santa and his reindeer, I guess, is really what I've persuaded myself.
Yeah, I hope you believe that, because that's what we're putting all of our bets on. We've spent millions and millions of dollars to establish Jock Talk Podcast as the new Santa. So I hope you feel confident that you can do a job, because otherwise, what the fuck? And I guess so the question was, what do we do with all these reindeer that we don't have? Not what do we do with all these reindeer, because there are zero. The question is, we don't have reindeer. We don't have a propulsion system anymore. Can we figure this out now? Christmas is so soon.
Good. Okay.
You have to be able to figure out some sort of way to get around the world. Can we figure this out?
Yeah, okay. Sorry. I got really fixed on the vision care stuff, because I've been on the phone with the healthcare, whatever. Like
and I keep telling you, like, going to the eye doctor is, I mean, it's like $100. It's not, even without insurance, it's an extremely cheap thing. And then to buy like a pair of glasses, that's up to you. You can go on Zenni.com and like buy a pair for like $15 if you want, but they're not the style.
See, they want and a prescription.
It doesn't seem like a problem that involves Christmas. Like, it doesn't seem a problem that involves the entire world's holiday. Does that make sense?
Like, I guess if it's not your problem, then it seems that way. But no, okay. So what for the propulsion system? I'll say I've tried dragging the sleigh for a little bit. Pretty heavy. So
I was thinking maybe we could get some other people involved in dragging the sleigh. Like, for example, I was thinking, Shaquille O'Neal has been available sort of lately. I mean, okay, so his TNT NBA on TNT thing or whatever had been renewed and moved to a new channel. But he seems to be covering a lot less games than he used to. And Shaquille O'Neal is like 7 foot something, still very strong. Yeah, he's like 60, whatever.
But here's the thing, though.
Can he not drag?
The sleigh is way taller than him when it's flying.
Okay. I guess that is a good point. And so, okay. In the example I was giving, Shaquille O'Neal was flying.
Yeah.
But as I say that, I realize he might not have the magic. Okay, that entails.
Yeah.
Even though he was on the Orlando Magic, like, he really was.
No, and it's just one of these things where can he get the job done when the time comes? And I don't.
Well, it's like if the Orlando Magic had actual magic, why have they like never won an NBA championship or been sort of a team anyone cares about?
Like, on that note, I would say, like, it really depends on what the magician's motives are, because it might not be to win necessarily. Like, what they're doing might be the end game for them. And I like, this is getting into a lot of like, okay, what is a person's motivations? Why does someone join a Magic team? Why did Shaq join a Magic team if it wasn't going to fundamentally change the game in a magical sort of way? But I think our focus should stay on the fact that, like, I don't know, maybe we should just replace the wheels on the sled. Like, instead of a sled, let's put on some wheels.
Oh, that's a pretty good idea. Make the sled a car.
Yeah, I feel like that'd be a lot more functional in today's society.
It's a lot more practical for sure, but this is the issue I have. So if you're comparing a car, like, let's say we put you in a Toyota Corolla.
Okay.
Is that going to hit as many houses on Christmas Eve as Santa's magical sleigh, where he hits every single house in the entire world within like a 24-hour period?
If hitting houses is the objective,
okay,
Cybertruck.
I
Cybertruck.
say hit.
Cybertruck.
I say no. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
See, you thought I lost you, but then I brought up the most genius invention there's ever been.
Yeah.
So think about it. Cybertruck.
Okay, I mean, the Cybertruck can famously you can't hurt it except for with fire, bullets, a person, like a large apple.
Difficult road. Slightly difficult road.
A difficult road, or just general wear and tear. Like, otherwise, you can't even mess with it. Oh,
and they hit it when they go viral
it doesn't go
for being bad.
It doesn't go super fast, so instead of hitting up the entire world, you're only going to hit up like 2 or 3 neighborhoods. But maybe we should just settle for that.
Yeah, because there'll be rich kid neighborhoods for sure.
And those are the people who deserve the most presents, as has been proven by Santa.
Yeah.
That's his whole system, is that he gives. Yeah.
Well, that's easy.
Well, I think that kind of figures it out. Yeah, like, so kids, if you're listening, Santa's done. He's gone. We've kind of outsmarted him, and the way we've outsmarted him is by London taking a Cybertruck through like 2 or 3 neighborhoods and dropping off. We didn't even discuss
hitting the houses.
Just sort of driving through the neighborhoods.
You gotta hit the houses. So,
and just hitting a couple houses. Pretty good.
Yeah. So that was our producer Cameron. Also with us is Digital in the House. And later, Cameron tells me that we can expect a special guest.
That's right, Dr. London.
So do look forward to that. But for now, I would like to move on to a bit of listener feedback. So for a long time, our listener demographic was primarily composed of jurors who were about to decide whether a city's vigilante justice dispenser should be imprisoned. But in our efforts to cater to them, we found they were neglecting the many bot accounts that download our podcast. So this comes from a bot on TikTok. This is a comment in response to, "Your acting is absolutely awful." At user 8291047361922 said, quote, "Guys, just wrap it up. This isn't going anywhere." End quote. So thank you so much for the feedback. So we've been trying to wrap it up, I guess.
Yeah, no, we've been told many times to wrap it up, especially by, like girlfriends we've had, hey, you should probably wrap this up. I don't like the way that looks, so please just wrap it up.
And it's not even like a feeling that it's usually the looks. And
it's usually being like, okay, like, even though I'm on birth control, so we're good, but like, just taking a look at that thing, I would say, let's wrap it up. Let's just sort of like get some sort of like
a costume
coating around it.
Yeah,
a costume. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
Some sort of rubber costume or anything.
Yeah.
Latex, whatever around it, so I don't have to look at it anymore.
Yeah. There's a lot of suggestions of like, we don't have to go like full role play, but like that part of you should be role playing as anything else.
Yeah, that's a common concern, or not a concern, a common suggestion is sort of like, hey, we're not role playing, but what if you role played as someone who put like some sort of covering on your, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And to us, like, I'm going to say the same thing to you, user, that I would say to my girlfriend or wife or whoever, which is no dice, buddy.
Yeah. You can't stop
I do what
this.
I want. You cannot stop this. There's no wrapping up involved. It's going to be dirty. It's going to be gritty. It's going to smell like hell.
No one's going to enjoy it.
Everyone hates it. Everyone on every side absolutely hates it, but it's happening.
Yeah. And don't take that as a threat. Don't take that as a threat. That's how it is. Okay. And you don't have to make it weird.
That's society these days.
Yeah.
Like, I can't, like, that's,
I wish you could.
Can't control that.
I wish you could, but you can't. So, anyway, to that user, thank you so much for listening. I hope we answered your question. Now for today's medical topic, hypernatremia from the primary cause of diabetes insipidus. So, hypernatremia is a state of having increased sodium in the body. Hyper means more or greater. Na, that refers to sodium, like on the periodic table, Na. And then emia refers to the blood. So, and then diabetes refers to something that water runs through. So, like a diabetes insipidus is only related to diabetes mellitus, and that patients who have it have the diabetic thing. They're peeing a lot. It's diuresis. A lot of water flowing through it. So, causative examples of hypernatremia include sweating, burns, fever, pneumonia, diarrhea, and diuretics. But hypernatremia, specifically due to diabetes insipidus, involves high volume water loss from insufficient or ineffective antidiuretic hormone. So any CNS disorder, that's stroke, trauma, hypoxia, infection, all these can damage the production of ADH, that's antidiuretic hormone, in the hypothalamus or storage in the posterior pituitary, leading to central diabetes insipidus.
I do want to say that if you have excessive, water fluid leaving your body, that's not necessarily this disease. Sometimes you're just following the Cameron exercise system.
Okay. So this is primarily like, basically ADH or antidiuretic hormone isn't going out from the central, from the pituitary, and that's usually what causes this, like just not enough ADH in the area.
The butthole, because it goes patu.
Okay. Not in my experience. Usually, it's like above the nose area in the brain. But so patients with hypernatremia of any cause present clinically with neurological symptoms such as confusion, disorientation, lethargy, and seizures. And if uncorrected, severe hypernatremia causes coma and irreversible brain damage. Now, I know you've said that your diet also causes some disorientation, confusion, some tiredness, some lethargy.
Well, yeah, because you're losing so much liquid. The entire point of my diet is that your body is, everyone says your body's like 80% water. Okay, so that means if you got rid of that, you would be 80% lighter. I am really, as a person, only like 7 pounds. The rest is water.
Right. And
because I'm like 70-ish pounds. Yeah.
This is your weight loss routine, is if all the weight's water, just get rid of the water. You'll have no more weight to worry about.
Yeah.
Whereas I'd say the water's pretty useful as a weight. Like, I don't think it's holding you back too much. I think there's actually a healthy amount of water to hold on to.
Yeah. Well, and that's, when you talk to doctors, they apparently have never heard of water weight. This isn't a situation. Even though my best student right now, his bones weigh like 7 pounds. 7.
And I guess just his bones? How are you weighing that?
And it's like a sack. It's like a bag. It's not a burlap sack. It's an H&M bag. When you go to H&M, you get a lot of clothes. They'll give you a larger bag than normal.
Okay, and your main patient for this.
Yeah, the bones are in there. Okay.
So diabetes insipidus is suggested by increased urine volume despite dehydration and hyperosmolality of the blood. That suggests diabetes insipidus. So therefore, the best initial test for diabetes insipidus is the water deprivation test. So you prevent the patient from drinking water, then you observe the urine output and urine osmolality. With diabetes insipidus, urine volume stays high and urine osmolality stays low. And then to distinguish between nephrogenic, or starting out from the kidney area, or central diabetes insipidus, you'll look at the ADH level. So response to ADH in central diabetes insipidus results in a decrease in urine volume, but an increase in osmolality. So ADH actually corrects the underlying issue in Central Diabetes Insipidus. Positive water deprivation test means urine volume stays high despite the withholding of water. And treatment of hypernatremia is to correct the underlying cause of fluid loss. And so in this case, it's Central Diabetes Insipidus, so you replace the ADH with vasopressin, also known as DDAVP.
That does sound pretty universal because the bones in the bag that I have, I've tested them, all have ADHD. Every single one.
Okay. Yeah. Just they cannot pay attention to save their lives. Those bones.
I don't know how I don't know how the test works. You're the doctor, right?
Yeah.
Am I supposed to tell you how? Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, you just put it. Okay. Well, yeah, that about covers it.
Yeah, I'm not a doctor. I just put a man's bones in an H&M bag, and then I got each and every one tested for ADHD. I don't understand what's confusing.
Why I'm confused. Yeah.
Okay.
No, good point.
Yeah, let's just move on, please. Yeah.
Hi there, my name is drlondonsmith.com. Cameron, you said that we have a guest today. Is that right?
That's right, Dr. London. We have a very fun and new guest.
Okay, both? Okay. Well, hello there. My name is drlondonsmith.com. This is our producer, Cameron. What was your name?
My name is Tinkle the Elf.
Okay. I'm sorry, is that a middle name?
Yes, that my full name is Tinkle the Elf.
Okay.
On my driver's license says Tinkle T Elf.
Okay. Tinkle T Elf. No, yeah, I'm just trying to get a grip on it. Okay. So Elf, that's an interesting last name. Is that Venezuelan?
It's North Polian.
Okay.
Everyone in the North Pole is classified. You are your job and you become your job, and that is your identity. That is who you are. And today I'm here to talk about that because, quite frankly, the conditions are so bad up there and it pisses me off.
This is something I've wanted to hear about for a long time because, like, no offense to y'all, I'm sure y'all, like, the North Pole elves have a very rich life and you have your own culture. The literal only thing I hear about y'all is whether or not you're succeeding in work. And to be honest, I hear from things like my niece didn't get a present she wanted, and her mother said, well, I guess Santa's elves didn't fall through.
We always take the blame for that. Always, 100% of the time.
Okay,
and is that not true, though?
Yeah.
Like,
it is your fault, right?
It has to be your fault.
Okay. Let me explain things. So first of all, I have been an elf. I've been a worker at Santa's workshop for the last 300 years. Okay.
Sure.
I shouldn't say worker. I should say proletariat. We have been.
I think worker is a little easier for us, though. If I just don't use the word proletariat that often.
You can shorten it to prole.
There is
worker is. I think the first choice was great. And, like, that kept us all on board and not having to feel like we have to, find ourselves within Marxist ideology. Just for the sake of our listeners,
Okay, I'll dumb it down for your listeners. I'll dumb it down for the people, for you two and the people who listen. Fine.
Please.
Okay. I have been a worker, a slave at Santa's workshop for the last 300 years, okay? Everything is always blamed on us. People look at Santa, they love him. They worship him. They think of him as this big, jolly, fat guy, says ho, 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 he gives everybody presents. They don't know the strain that is putting on us, the power imbalance between us, the elves, the workers, and the owner of the workshop and the ruler of the North Pole.
Okay, well, now I am feeling like proletariat was kind of the word, and now is there another word for the Santa character in that nomenclature?
The bourgeoisie.
Is it still owner?
Yeah, bourgeois or like
bourgeois.
Big, like big little bitch.
Okay,
I have heard about this about Santa. I don't know much about Santa, but I know, when there was a story about Ellen mistreating her coworkers, who came out in defense of Ellen? Santa was
Santa,
one.
yeah. Well,
Yes,
of course.
Santa.
Like, this is just one of those things. Danny Masterson gets sort of accused of whatever, and Scientology steps in, and Santa's like, oh, Danny and I have known each other for a long time, and also Scientology, it's not that bad once you get to know about. Like, I've heard a lot of things about Santa.
Yes,
Yeah.
But I
very
mean, I do
famously
have to
a
ask
Scientologist.
I know, I do know that Santa is a Scientologist.
We all know.
But so much Tom Cruise. Like, sometimes these big celebrities are shielded from the darker parts of Scientology. You know what I mean? They might not know about like the boat that like all the the people are on or whatever.
I have a man on the inside, and I can tell you for a fact that not only does Santa know what's happening within the church, but he is a willing and active participant.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
The things I can tell you about Santa, man, I can go on and on.
Well, I gotta ask, you've worked for him for 300 years.
300 years.
Why did you start working for him?
You ever read Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
The
I
Johnny
meant to.
Depp one? I did read that, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
the novelization of the Johnny Depp. Yes.
Uh-huh.
It is what they say, how they explain the Oompa Loompas is that they are an actual literal, this is a real thing, that the Oompa Loompas are a race of people that were taken from their homeland and used to work for Willy Wonka. That was actually based on us.
Oh, wow. Wait,
On the
what is your
proletariat.
homeland?
On the proletariat, right? That's the
Yeah,
It's based on-
proletariat.
In the
Proletariat.
dynamics of the modern day North Pole, we are the proletariat and Santa is the bourgeoisie. Correct.
okay. No, I'm just making sure because now I'm actually starting to think like this vocabulary is pretty good. Like because now because if you had said just workers earlier and if you never added the proletariat part, then I'd be like, well, I'm a worker. I relate to this too much, maybe, because then I would, yeah. So I just love this now that we're talking.
Let me ask you a question. Do you or do you not own the means of production?
Well, Cameron's a producer. Cameron, is that you?
Yeah, I mean, do I own what we're producing? I mean, DJ Dylan owns everything, technically outright, including my house and my children and you, because I own you because of a deal we made because of that sandwich. London, but when I say you.
Okay.
But so Dylan owns me and my children and
The sandwich was never
and
eaten.
the sandwich.
Well,
That doesn't matter. You receive the sandwich, so the
Well,
deal
it's-
is done. I don't care what you do with it. You can,
Yeah,
you
well,
can fuck the sandwich
my
if you
team.
want, but that's not my
no,
business.
well, I remember the terms. Okay. Well, so do we own the means of production? It's a heavy maybe.
Okay, so in the revolution, you will not be spared. I got it. I understand that. Good to know.
Okay.
Now, let me explain to you
And sorry. Means of production. If I own Mean Streets on like a DVD, it's not like a new DVD, right? DVDs aren't it's kind of old. Does that mean I own the means of production?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Marx actually said that in the Communist Manifesto that if you own Mean Streets on DVD, you own the means of production.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm good. London, you're fucked. This is kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I was expecting that. So, I'm sorry we keep interrupting you, Tinkle. I do want to know now, just because we've made this much progress here, how do I stop the proletariat from taking me down?
No. Other way around. You and me need to rise up. We need to take over. See, the thing is in America, all right, it's very complicated. There are very different power structures, okay? In the North Pole, it's simple. It's us versus Santa. The American elves need to take over the American Santa. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand? Do you follow me?
I get. Well, as a member of the bourgeoisie.
No, you're the proletariat. He's the fucking traitor. Cameron's the bourgeoisie.
Cameron?
Wait, me? I feel like I was on your side for most of this, but now that I think about it, I am rich. I do oppress people.
And you own Mean Streets on DVD.
I own Mean Streets on DVD, and I I have an Oompa Loompa, but it's in a jar. Like, it's not working for me.
We can't escape. You can't get out of there.
Well, it's been dead for like 300 years. It's sort of a floating sort of voodoo jar.
At this point, if you take the lid off, like, we just don't know the scent.
Yeah.
We're scared of that.
But I would say, like, my biggest question about this is, like, what are you planning on doing about it? You're mad. You're here. What do you want to tell the people?
Well, I heard what you guys were talking about earlier about a new power structure, a new ruler in the North Pole. I think that could be very good for the elf people as long as we find someone who treats us right. I have not had a meal. Oh.
No, I'm sorry. Yes, we started this episode talking about how a big plan of the Jock podcast for a while is to take over Santa's operation, sort of monopolize that. I don't think we've ever discussed how we treat the employees. Dr. London, do you want to...
Well, you're
in charge of that aspect of it.
Now, I'll say, and this is one of these things, like, I don't want to say too much before the press release, but yes, we will treat it something like, kind of like what's happening to our country soon, which is we're going to privatize everything that we can, and that does include... I don't want to say people, but like, but when the elves... So the elves are going to have to keep doing the work, and there's going to be less to go around to help them survive, if that makes sense.
A big part of our push towards sort of owning Christmas, being the new Santa or whatever, is, like London is saying, privatizing humanity, human beings.
Humans, yes. Thank you.
And so...
And I guess elves, right?
Anything breathing. And essentially, if we're going to move forward with this project to take over, you hate Santa. We know you hate Santa. We want to be on the same page. We just want to be clear that you will be owned sort of, by us. And
not necessarily by us directly. It's a conglomerate. So like...
Right. It's owned by Colgate, like the sort of the toothpaste company, like up top. And then a subsidiary of theirs is AIG Bank, and then a subsidiary of theirs is the Jock Talk podcast.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
One thing I will say, we may or may not have means to take you down if you try. So, I welcome you to come. Come to the North Pole. First of all, kill Santa. I'm fine with that. Sounds great to me.
Easy. Yeah, done.
Well, he's super old.
Just know that elves know how to make things. We can make a lot of things. Almost anything we can imagine. And all we need is for the other elves to wake up.
Okay.
Could y'all make like a backpack bomb? Like a bomb that I could leave in a backpack around sort of Santa's studios to...
I refused on the answer on the grounds that I may be incriminated.
Okay.
Well, I will say this podcast is exempt from any sort of legal...
Okay, then we have an arsenal of bombs.
As far as we know, it's exempted, yeah.
Okay.
We haven't, checked, but,
No, I haven't, checked or researched it or anything, but, just knowing myself, it has to be.
Yeah. But yeah, good to know that we got all the backpack bombs we need. Not that we would encourage using that stuff, but if Santa happened to put on the wrong backpack, does he wear backpacks? Sorry, that was pretty crucial to this plan.
He does not. He does not want to be seen. In fact, nobody has ever seen him not wearing the weird red shit. It's 20. We thought it was, when I first came to work for the North Pole, I thought it was a bit. I thought it was a character. I thought he had kind of a costume, but he has never been seen outside of that costume, ever. I've never seen him carrying things besides his jolly sack of gifts. It's fucking weird. I think it's either commitment to the bit or he is hiding behind a persona.
I gotta ask a question, and this is almost upsetting to ask, but I grew up with Santa, even though we're trying to take take him over, whatever. I grew up with Santa. I have an affinity for him. But does he actually eat the cookies?
He forces us to.
Oh,
we follow him through his deliveries. And last year for Christmas, I ate so many cookies. My wife actually ate so many that she died.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very lucky for you. You now are like sort of open playing field and...
Okay.
Yeah. Like, what are Saturday nights like now?
I'm crying over the loss of my fucking wife.
Okay, so like it happened pretty recently then?
Like, yeah, there are babes there?
This was only a year ago, first of all.
Okay.
Second of all, I've lost 3 children to the cookies. Okay?
Well, where'd you see him last? Where did you see them last?
You know, if you understood for 1 second what we go through every day. I have not, we don't get paid. You know what he gives us? He gives us candy canes. That's how he pays us. That's all I've had to eat.
How many, like, per hour?
7. But that's not important. Okay?
Okay, good to know. Okay.
Are you planning on giving us candy canes too?
No, we can't afford all that.
Yeah, no.
Well, that's the thing. The candy canes are free because we make them, and then he just gives them back to us.
You will not be delivered anything y'all made. It might be the peels of, say, a banana that is sort of handed over to you guys as
not
sort of
like the most fresh, but yeah, we can get that.
You, because you're not really humans or whatever, whatever. You can figure out your own currency with the banana peels. Yeah, they're not fresh, of course not. Like,
no, they got to make that journey.
Well, and fresh banana peels, those goes to like pigsties and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, that's not like...
Yeah, it's just practical.
I'd like to remind you of the bombs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the bombs. Yeah, how can we get access to those? We have to kill Santa. We're on the same page about a lot of this stuff. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You keep focusing on, when we take over, are you going to get money? Oh, are we going to be forced to do the same thing? Oh, are we going to be paid in banana peels? Let's focus on the bombs, baby.
Yeah, don't complicate it.
Okay, you know what? I am more than willing and happy to show you exactly where the bombs are. If you come up to the North Pole, I will bring you right to the bombs.
Ooh! Oh, yeah, I wish. Okay.
Yeah, we can send maybe an assistant or like DJ Dylan or someone up to the North Pole. Just because I've got pickleball on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And I'm the ref for like half of those matches, and I'm not good at it. So usually we have to stay overtime, and I have to look up the rules while we're playing. And
a lot of our pickle matches involve us staying overnight.
Yeah. And it's like, sure, it's a good sleepover. Sure, we all really exchange some pretty deep stuff by like 3 or 4 in the morning. But then we are tired the next day at the next pickleball match. And then that's in part, I'll take the blame. Like, I'm not a great ref at it. So when it comes to scheduling a trip to the North Pole, I hope you can imagine we're working with what we have, But
that's no problem.
If you want
I can come to you. I can bring the bombs to you.
But how can we help you kill Santa? Like, you're already there, right? You're at the North Pole right now?
That is correct.
And Santa is as well, right?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah, Kevin, where are you going with this? I'm not following at all now.
So when I said just 30 seconds ago, you should kill Santa.
Okay.
And then I said, are you in the North Pole and is Santa in the North Pole?
But you didn't ask me this though. You asked him.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Every 2 seconds you have to like clue London in and who is being talked to.
I just want to make sure that I'm not lost here. So, can you kill Santa? You live near Santa, and what does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean?
Oh, I would say, can we kill Santa right now, today?
Oh,
not you, London.
Okay. Tinkle?
I'm talking to Tinkle.
Okay.
Like, what do we have to do? You've got the funding. We're giving you money right now if you need help. What can we do to sort of like finish this off?
We don't need money. We just need weapons.
Okay.
There's no currency up here. It's just Santa and us.
That explains the money situation, because we have tried to send money out there, but it hasn't done much. It seems like
we burn it for fires for warmth in the winter. It's cold up here. We don't get heat. Santa doesn't give us heat. He just gives us fucking candy canes.
Okay. Guess that explains the Bitcoin as well.
So weapon-wise, how many candy canes do you have? I feel like these can be sort of you can suck on them in a specific way to turn them into like stabby objects.
You ever tried stabbing someone with a candy cane? Because I have.
No. Okay.
It's hard.
And
you can kill someone that way. I've done it. It's just hard.
Okay. So
wait, who did you kill with a candy cane?
Listen.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, it's okay. You can be honest on this podcast.
She's not Mrs. Claus anymore. You know, like she's gone now.
Listen, Mrs. Claus, as far as we know, is alive and well. It doesn't matter that no one's seen her for a very long time. She is alive and well. And anyone who thinks that the elves may have had something to do with her disappearance are lying.
And did you personally know Mrs. Claus pretty well? Like maybe even privately, or
I never met her before in my life.
You never met Mrs. Claus?
Never.
You know,
she never came around. We never talked to her.
It's a little suspicious how the murder weapon was mysteriously licked away before anyone could identify that's what it was and solve the mystery.
Well,
the police have talked about that. Okay, there's no real evidence there's no conclusive evidence that saliva was found on her wound.
Yeah.
And there's no conclusive evidence that there even was a wound.
Hey, I'm on your side, buddy. I'm not trying to accuse you of anything. I am very interested. There's this picture here of you, Tinkle, Mrs. Claus, alone, it looks like, at a Casey Musgraves concert.
I do not recall such pictures.
You said you never met her, and yet here's the picture. And I can even hold down, if I put my thumb on it, and we see the live photo of it, you're sort of singing the words to Rainbow.
That could be any elf. In fact, I find it highly offensive that you look at any other elf and just assume it's me. We don't all look alike.
Yeah, Cameron, that's... So this photo of you and Mrs. Claus at an orgy, is that... Like, I just want to check, is that the same kind of issue of you can't... Am I just judging here too harshly?
I do not recall an orgy. I don't ever remember being at an orgy.
That's how I felt at them too.
Those photos are faked.
It's this AI, man.
Listen, the photos could be faked, and I don't go down like that.
Okay, yes,
yeah.
that
You
that
only
was
go
the telltale
down.
sign.
Yeah,
elves don't go down. Everyone knows that.
Yeah. And where is Mrs. Claus right now?
We cannot confirm where Mrs. Claus is.
We can't confirm. Okay. Yeah.
Well,
just because she has not been seen in many years does not mean that the elves or I had anything to do with it. We did not know Mrs. Claus. We never met Mrs. Claus. I can't even tell you what she looks like.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and a murderer wouldn't know. So
yeah, and let me just randomly present a hypothetical. Let's say hypothetically there was an elf who was in love with the wife of a magical gift-giving man.
Okay.
And let's say that elf created more and more disgust towards this gift-giving man, only to sort of remove him from the picture so he could have his sort of, lovely wife to himself.
Well, if that was true, that wouldn't make a lot of sense because Mrs. Claus has not been seen. No one knows where she is.
Uh-huh. So
I don't know if there's any elves who have fallen in love with Mrs. Claus, but...
Well, she hasn't been seen except for the Casey Musgraves concert with an elf that looks like you in the picture. But I won't say this is you.
Wow,
you said
man.
that might be sort of racist to me. I don't know if this is you.
You know what? It's 2024. Okay, I'm sick of
That is debatable, but sure, go ahead.
I don't like that kind of talk. This is an elf, so it must be you. Oh, you must know this elf because you're both elves. You know, I've never met Mrs. Claus, and it's possible the elf in that photo had never met Mrs. Claus. They're just standing next to each other. It looks like they may be holding hands under the frame and singing along together, but you can't confirm that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess that solves it, huh?
I think it does. I mean, I think we've gotten to the bottom of it. The
bottom of it meaning she is still alive
proletariat.
and everything's okay.
She's still alive. No one's touched her. No one was in love with her, and then that created sort of a chaotic situation. And Santa is going to be safe on this Christmas Eve adventure he's done a million times now.
And can I just say, like, Santa, wear a backpack. Try wearing backpacks now.
Try wearing a backpack.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I feel like we covered everything. We did the worker and the proletariat thing, and you liked that. And how I'm the bourgeois, and you can't beat me. Is there anyone you want to give a shout out to? Anyone you're a fan of?
No. But I can tell you about some people who are problems, and maybe you could possibly go to their shows and yell at them. People who support this system that's been created at the North Pole. There's one comedian, actually, I've heard of. His name is Quinn Avallon, and he is part of a group called Launch Code. Now, all of these people are anti-elf. They are pro this capitalist system that Santa has set up. So their next show is actually January 15th. So if you wanted to go and, cause problems, maybe shut down the show, yell at them, heckle them, that would be great. It is at the Pack Theater at 9 p.m. January 15th.
Okay.
Oh, so London, that's perfect. You just told me, I didn't know what it meant, but you said, I can't wait to go to the Pack Theater and Luigi all of them. I had no idea what that meant, but that sounds, that's awesome.
Yeah, just Nintendo fan. That's all.
Yeah. No.
I'll hop over there and Luigi, everyone I could find. That seems to be, an issue politically or geopolitically. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Listeners, be sure to check out Quinn, online, and also Tinkle the Elf, obviously.
Him.
Yeah. Support, the sort of militia motives of Tinkle the Elf. Thank you to our producer, Cameron. Thank you to Did You Know in the House? Hello, and welcome to the Jock Podcast Patreon.
Welcome to the Jock Podcast Patreon. Also with us is Did You Know in the House?